Yeah, so I was at my house when we watched the game, and I just had 2 friends over, and we had a good time.
Okay. Okay. Cook, past years, I don't think he's been the greatest threat to us. I was worried about Jaleel Okafor. Talk a little bit about your thoughts on his play. I know he hit like 4 threes. He got really hot for a period.
I thought Quinn Cook did really good for the first part of the game, and then didn't see too much of him, or at least not as much of an impact on the game as he was right at the beginning. I think what was really interesting was the second half was just almost entirely UNC. So I didn't really see much of any of the Duke players in the second half until, of course, the end of the game.
I would agree with that. Another interesting thing, Dick Vitale believes he was left off the broadcast because he's old.
I actually didn't even realize that Dick Vitale wasn't on the broadcast. That's interesting because he's always been on the UNC Duke games, and I'm not really fond of Dick Vitale. I think I think he's an amazing broadcaster. I don't think I'm fond of him because he's such a hardcore Duke fan, but I do think that he is kind of a monument for the UNC Duke games, and regardless of how I feel about him, he should have been on there. So whether he's old or not, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look into it a little more to find out.
Especially after such a historical game, after Dean Smith, his passing. Can you talk a little bit? Did you watch any of the pregame prayer and the service they gave him?
So I did watch the pregame prayer. I caught the end of it when they were kneeled down on the ground, and I saw Roy crying a little bit, and I thought that was pretty touching.
Bryce Johnson each scored 18 points. Can you talk a little bit? Were you surprised at all how well we did in the paint? I think we got over 60 points in the paint against common believed one of the best centers in college basketball, probably the #1 draft pick next year. Talk a little bit about your thoughts on that.
So yeah, definitely we had a lot of points in the paint. I think Kennedy Meeks, there was like 3 or 4 big plays where he got stopped pretty bad by Jaleel Okafor, and I was thinking, oh man, but I don't know what it was, if it was the coaching, if it was Roy that did something, or if it was just Kennedy Meeks getting up to the task, but he was able to start making points. And I think there was also one point where Joel James came in and he got some big field goals against Jaleel Okafor, and he's a big guy, so I thought that was real interesting to watch him play. I hope that he stays with the team and keeps on going. Bryce Johnson, I thought Bryce Johnson did great. He got a couple careless fouls there and put him in foul trouble and eventually fouled him out. But I think that he did great nonetheless. I mean, 18 points, that's not much more you can ask for.
Talk a little bit about your feelings about our inability to draw up a play and plan out a good last play. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so definitely that last play it seemed very a little discombobulated a little bit. I mean, I think I remember seeing Marcus Page on the far side of the court running around and wasn't even coming towards, I think it was Meeks that had the ball, didn't even try and pass it to Page, and somehow they got it to Tokido, and he shot a jumper. And I think Tokido is an amazing player, but I don't think that was the plan. I don't think that he was supposed to shoot it from there. So yeah, overtime was definitely tough. I went into the game on Wednesday thinking that we weren't going to win the game. I was okay with that. And once we started getting a lead in the second half and started to really play some good ball, it was pretty heartbreaking to see the loss right there at the end. But I am waiting for the next game here at Carolina. Hopefully, as a senior, I'll be getting into that game, and it will be very interesting to watch, and I think we have a good chance to take it. All right, thanks for having me. That we could have, I don't know, I think, yeah. I'm not a good interviewee.
It doesn't matter. Quinn